Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this session. Um, I am Teguh Prasetya, and thank you for inviting us as an Indonesian IoT Association. As you may aware that we are, even though in the pandemic situation, but ICT, especially for the IoT itself, it is growth rapidly here in Indonesia. As a background, we know that during the pandemic is even caused the positive impact to the accelerating of the pace in digital transformation, especially on the area of the industry business line. As you know, the industry will is affected pretty hardly, such as automotive industry, steel industry, transportation industry, cement industry, electronic industry, and so on and so forth. But again, during the pandemic, also industry is not affected hardly. But even though they are, is increasing the demand, such as food and beverage, pharmacy, pharmaceutical, personal protective equipment, as well as other related industry that is related to the health itself. Digitalization and innovation has become necessity that is systematically implemented in order to survive, especially in the business line. So more innovative, more digital is more survival for industry. The impact of digitalization for Indonesia in the year 2025, as mentioned by McKinsey, it is impacted by mostly by five largest sectors, namely manufacturing, retail, transportation, mining, and agriculture. And for all of that, three benefit of increasing productivity in 2025 is due to the optimization of the operation, and the number will be 93.8 billion US dollar. For increased productivity and healthy is around 18.7 billion US dollar. And also the third one is because of the increasing of sales and product development that is affected by 8.9 billion US dollar. Therefore, the total increase in productivity in the year of 2025 for Indonesia is impacted by 121.4 billion US dollar, or in the Indonesian currency is around 1.7 trillion rupiah. As you know, the innovation age for digitalization is comprised by four types. The first one, what we call inventors. There is a product and service innovation. In the world is, as an example, is like Apple, Salesforce, or even Google's. With compound annual growth rate for 3 years is more than 265%. And the second example of the innovation is what we call disruptors, which is the innovation on the business models. In the global wide, it is company namely Amazon, such as Uber, Burberry, Netflix, Baidu in the China, and so on. So that one with the compound annual growth rate for 3 years is around 248%. The third category of the innovation, what we call is the lean champion, which is innovate on the business process. And the example on the world is just like Unilever, GE, Walmart, and those one with the compound annual growth rate for 3 years is around 240%. Of course, in Indonesia, there is an example of those three kind of innovation. For the first, inventor is just like e-fishery that is working on the IoT. The Bobo Box is also doing in the IoT field. For the disruptor, what we call is the ride-sharing company, namely Gojek, and also e-commerce company, namely Tokopedia. For the lane champion innovators in Indonesia, there are, as an example, there is the OVO for the e-wallet and also Traveloka for the travel in the travel space. But of course, we are looking for the all-rounders, which is the company that is innovate in the all three dimension, which is product and service innovation, business model innovation, also business process innovation. Company such as Tesla and Rakuten is an example of that one. Those company has also compound annual growth rate for 3 years is around 145%. In Indonesia, we don't have this one. That's why we are still looking and we are still developing the company that is categorized as these all-rounders innovators. We know that the technology itself, utilizing technology and using technology will help a lot on the industry, on the all business line to enhance their process, to increase the productivity, to make them back again on track as what they did before or even higher than before. So utilizing technology will create another curve to make the business back on track again. During the COVID-19 pandemic and also afterward, we know that 10 major potential ICT opportunity is there, especially if we are talking about digitalizing the platform itself, and then the new broadband internet goes to home, access to home. It's also increasing those kind of opportunity here in Indonesia for the e-commerce and delivery of the fresh food, delivery of the good food and beverage is also here. The remote office itself is about work from home, everything doing from home, everything done from home. It's also increased rapidly here. The other opportunities that is risen also in Indonesia is about online healthcare, personal healthcare, and personal health equipment that is connected to the health center, to the virtual healthcare is also increased rapidly here in Indonesia. And then the other one is regarding education itself, the opportunity to having online education, online certification, and online education institution. It's also becoming an opportunity here. The other sector that is also have an opportunity is regarding managed services. Since all have restriction to move, all has efficiency to spend, and then managed service is becoming another choice and another opportunity that is also risen in Indonesia. The other opportunity is because of the government itself should transform its public sector's servant. Therefore, the digital government and e-government services is also increased rapidly here in Indonesia. The other part of opportunity is regarding the decentralization of the smart areas. Previously, smart city is becoming a necessity, but right now it's becoming smaller and smaller scale and also reaching to the end of the customer premises. Therefore, the decentralization of the smart areas it is also increasing here in Indonesia. How about the readiness of the state-owned company? It's also becoming a good point here. Since the beginning of this year, the state-owned enterprise ministry is also having some survey for throughout all major state-owned company. They are measuring on their strategy, their culture, their organization, and their capabilities. For the first rank, it is done by it is mentioned there that the telecom in state-owned company, it is on the first rank. They got a good strategy. They already implemented in culture within the organization, and they have organization. Of course, they do have their own capabilities. The second rank of the readiness for digitalization is the state-owned financial services comprised of banking and insurance. They got on the second rank. The third rank, it is on the mining and related company, state-owned company. But again, those one is only 40 to 50% of the readiness. The most like one is regarding the capabilities. If you are seeing on this survey mentioning the construction state-owned company, manufacturing and production, logistic, even the healthcare state-owned company, on the overall score, it is less than 40%. Therefore, still need have improvement a lot in terms of strategy, in terms of building the culture, in terms of building the organization, as well as the most the homework for them is bringing up their capabilities. So by this one, if the room to grow for even for state-owned company to make it digitalization, to adopt, to transform within their organization, their digitalization movement, they still have a huge room to grow here. For 2021 and beyond, what is need to be done in Indonesia? First of all, the first priority is improving the health quality. Therefore, the demand of the telemedicine, demand of the virtual healthcare, demand of the related for the health improvement, it is huge. Secondly, after the improving the health quality is boosting the economy itself. Therefore, the increasing demand of working everything from home and increasing the e-commerce and their ecosystem, it's also needed here. What happened after the economic boost? Then the increasing of the education itself. That is why the demand of the digital education center, virtual skill and degree opportunity is also here, and digital increasing digital demand of teleeducation it's also here. Since all three is related with the online, related with the connected interconnection, therefore the increasing of the security concern is also here. Started from protecting the data, private data, and then protecting from the fraud, protecting from data security, it's also quite huge. How big is the demand itself, especially for the IoT, until 2025? Based on our calculation, based on our survey, it is also mentioning that all industry actually is moving toward 50% of penetration by 2025. With the most potential demand is around 4 billion US dollar for manufacturing, if you are talking to manufacturing, with 40% of the penetration. The total demand itself is around 40 billion of US dollar. And the number of devices is around 678 millions. And most of them is actually, the growth rate itself is 50% annually. And 78% of them is comprised of application and the platform. So this is the number of the demand. But again, there is a demand, but also there is some IoT implementation challenges. What is the challenge? Starting from the policy itself, and data structure standardization and share of use, easiness of digital device certification, personal data protection law that currently is still ongoing discussion with the House of the Representative and the government. And then secondly is regarding support and incentive that is required for local device developer, network developer, application developer, local platform provider, as well as local system integrators. And then the third one, the challenges is regarding industrial ecosystem. Starting from the training and improving user knowledge as a human resource support of the industrial development of the device, network, and application itself. And thirdly is development of the competence human resource that is fit with the needs in the field or in the industry. And then the next challenge is regarding the security itself. So start from the cybersecurity protection, privacy, and personal data protection. It's be also becoming the challenge and concern, big concern here when we are going online, when we are transforming towards digitalization. What is the association do during the 2021? What we call is the year of the economic improvement after the COVID pandemic, or even during the COVID-19 pandemic, through utilizing the IoT itself. We are doing socialization, competition, and also conferences such as the IoT Creation 2021 that is just ended last month, and we are continuously bringing and matchmaking the IoT provider towards the state-owned enterprise to match up with from the demand itself with the supply. And then we also initiating the IoT startup to industry, introducing all solutions that we got or that our members got to the industry. We are doing IoT business matching, and the latest one, we are pursuing all industry to start trialing the 5G for the latest network development, especially 5G that is supporting low latency and also more and more massive device connected to the network itself. Secondly, what we did, we are also trying to improve the human resource capability here. Since we got the national standardization scale of the IoT itself that was signed by Ministry of Manpower on the year 2020, so we are doing together with the locals education center here, certified education center. We are doing training, examination, and issuing some certification based on the national standardization of the skill. And the third one, what we do is we also, together with the government, working hand in hand, the ministry with the Ministry of ICT and national standardization bodies, we are writing the national standardization of the IoT itself. Currently, we got already 5 issued, and another one is still ongoing. With this one, we do believe that Indonesia has its own standardization, and also we are adopting also the global standardization that could meet with Indonesian national standardization of the IoT itself. And the fourth one, we also hand in hand with the government to help government issue the IoT regulation. Start with the regulation on the frequency of the IoT can be used for nationwide here. Also the regulation on the device certification, IoT device certification itself. And the next one will be on the revise of the Ministry of Infocom decree regarding utilizing a new frequency band that can be used for the IoT deployment. So as a summary, what we did and what we do and what we are trying to aim to introduce and try to make all the ecosystem of IoT in Indonesia growing is IoT adaptation as we know, is growing rapidly in Indonesia, especially due to its useful utilization to provide more operational effectiveness, efficiency, increasing its efficiency and potential upside on the increasing productivity as well as the sales improvement for the business. And secondly, investment of the digital transformation for all business line, start from the small medium enterprise to the large enterprise and multinational enterprise in Indonesia is accelerating even due to the pandemic itself. That is already lasted for 2 years. And then as a summary, the third one, the implementation of IoT is the main driving for the economic growth and digital transformation and in Indonesia. So by this, ended my presentation, and now we are welcoming for the question and answer. So thank you, and have a good day.